In the grand auction hall, a heavy silence settles over the crowd as the spotlight lands on Aqua, a capybara lying motionless at the center of the ring. Her once beautiful coat is marred with scars, evidence of years of neglect and suffering. The audience, dressed in polished suits and expensive dresses, murmurs with disinterest, eyes glazing over. No one sees the animal's pain, only her perceived worthlessness. "What's the point?" someone sneers, as whispers begin to swirl through the room, filled with mockery and disdain. "It looks like it's given up on life," a woman in a designer dress remarks, her voice dripping with contempt. The crowd laughs. Aqua's dull eyes, once full of life, now appear empty, as if she's given up hope altogether. Her spirit, crushed by years of mistreatment, has been reduced to nothing more than a spectacle for the wealthy onlookers to gawk at. The more the crowd ridicules her, the more isolated she feels, trapped in the judgment of people who see nothing but a broken animal, unworthy of any compassion. But what they don't see, what they fail to understand, is that Aqua's story is far from over. She isn't just a symbol of rejection, and her scars aren't a mark of finality. In this moment of humiliation, something unexpected will happen that will change everything. Aqua's journey toward healing and redemption is about to begin, and it won't be defined by the cruel mockery of those who fail to see her worth. This is the story of resilience, of second chances, for both Aqua and the person who will give her one. In the midst of laughter and ridicule, a young man named James stands up from the back of the room, his plain clothes making him stand out against the polished crowd. With every head turned toward him, James's voice rings out steady and calm. "I'll take her." The words hang in the air, cutting through the mockery like a sharp blade. The crowd falls silent, disbelief spreading like wildfire. A man sneers, "Are you serious?" But James doesn't flinch. His eyes are locked on Aqua, the capybara, and his unwavering gaze speaks volumes. Despite the cruel jeers and disapproving whispers, he's certain of one thing: Aqua deserves a chance. As he walks to the ring, the crowd remains frozen, stunned by his courage. The auctioneer, now unsure of what's happening, proceeds with the sale. After completing the payment, James approaches Aqua, who's lying motionless, her body a reflection of years of neglect. As he crouches down to meet her eyes, Aqua flinches, instinctively retreating from any human touch. But James doesn't pull back. He gently whispers to her, his words soft and comforting, words no one else can hear. In a quiet moment of connection, Aqua's ears twitch, and for the first time she lifts her head, slowly meeting his gaze. It's a small, fragile step, but to James, it's a powerful sign of trust, the beginning of something greater. In that moment, James knows that this capybara, rejected by all, has just begun to heal, and with his unwavering belief, he will be the one to guide her on the journey ahead. Within days of Aqua's unlikely rescue, whispers of her remarkable transformation spread like wildfire. The capybara, once abandoned and dismissed as a worthless animal, was beginning to show signs of life again. Under James's gentle care, Aqua was no longer the listless creature lying motionless in the ring. Instead, she was standing taller, her movements more deliberate, and her eyes, once dull and defeated, now sparkled with a newfound intelligence. The change was subtle at first, a small step toward James, a curious tilt of her head when he spoke. But to anyone paying attention, it was nothing short of miraculous. As news spread through town, those who had once mocked James's decision to bid on Aqua began to take notice. What had changed in the capybara? How was it possible that the same animal, deemed useless only days ago, was now displaying strength and vitality? The skepticism that had once surrounded James's bold move began to melt away, replaced by quiet admiration. People couldn't deny the bond between them. It was undeniable. It wasn't just the transformation in Aqua that intrigued them. It was the quiet certainty in James's eyes, his unwavering belief that she could be something more. He didn't see a broken animal. He saw potential. His patience, kindness, and dedication had unlocked something in Aqua that no one had thought possible. And with every small victory, the bond between James and Aqua grew stronger, proving that sometimes all it takes is someone who believes in you when no one else does. James understood that trust couldn't be rushed, especially not with Aqua. Every day, he spent hours sitting outside Aqua's stall, reading quietly, or simply being present. He never forced interaction, never demanded anything from her. He knew Aqua's scars were more than just skin deep. They were rooted in something far more painful. Aqua had been mistreated and abandoned, and her past had built a fortress around her heart. But James wasn't deterred. He patiently allowed Aqua the space she needed to come to him without pushing her too fast. Over time, something miraculous began to happen. Aqua, who had once flinched at the mere sound of movement, began to approach James, her steps hesitant but curious. For the first time, she was choosing to get closer, not out of fear, but out of genuine interest. James noticed the change with a quiet sense of pride. Every small step Aqua took was a victory. He could see that her trust wasn't easily earned, and every cautious movement toward him was a testament to the healing power of patience. James knew Aqua's past was filled with betrayal and cruelty, and he made a silent vow to replace those painful memories with love and kindness. He would be the one to show her that not all humans were capable of harm. His heart swelled with a mix of determination and empathy as he sat with Aqua, allowing their bond to grow at her pace. James wasn't in a hurry. He understood that true healing couldn't be forced. And so, day by day, trust blossomed between them, one small gesture at a time. As James spent more time with Aqua, the challenges he faced became increasingly clear. Despite the progress she had made, Aqua's trauma was far deeper than James had anticipated. Every time James made a sudden movement, Aqua would flinch violently, as if bracing for impact. When someone raised their voice nearby, she would freeze, her body rigid with fear, as though she was waiting for another blow. It was heartbreaking to witness. James quickly realized that Aqua's scars weren't just physical, they were the result of something much darker: betrayal. Her reactions weren't from neglect alone. Aqua had been hurt by those who were supposed to care for her, those who had broken her trust in a way that left invisible wounds. As the weight of this truth sank in, James felt a mixture of anger and sorrow, but more than anything, he felt a burning resolve to help Aqua heal. This wasn't just about undoing the damage done to her body, it was about mending her spirit, piece by fragile piece. James made a vow to himself that day. He wouldn't just help Aqua recover physically, he would help her reclaim the trust she had lost in people. Every setback only fueled his determination. He would be the one to teach her that not all hands were capable of harm. Patience, kindness, and a deep commitment to Aqua's well-being would be the tools he used to heal her. Aqua's journey wouldn't be easy, but James was ready for the challenge, knowing that with each step forward, they were both becoming something greater. One evening, as the fading light of the sun bathed the barn in a warm glow, James slowly approached Aqua with a brush in hand. The moment he touched her fur, Aqua tensed, her body stiff with the weight of past trauma. But James didn't rush. He allowed her to feel his presence, moving with care and gentleness. Slowly, like a hesitant ripple in still water, Aqua began to relax under his touch. Her muscles softened, and she let out a small exhale, signaling the first true victory in their journey together. It wasn't a dramatic moment, but for James, it was everything. It was proof that Aqua was beginning to trust again, even if just a little. It was a sign that their bond was growing, one tiny step at a time. That small act of calm was the first real victory in a long road to healing, and James couldn't help but feel a surge of pride. As news of Aqua's progress spread, the town buzzed with a mix of curiosity and skepticism. Some watched with wide-eyed wonder, amazed at the change in the capybara. Others were doubtful, unsure if Aqua's recovery could truly be possible. Yet no one could deny that there was something extraordinary unfolding. James's dedication and Aqua's slow but steady progress had become the talk of the town. Whether people were rooting for them or questioning the effort, one thing was certain. The unlikely partnership between James and Aqua had captured the town's attention, and for the first time they were beginning to see the glimmer of something truly remarkable. James stood at the entrance of the open pasture, his heart pounding with anticipation. This was the moment he had been waiting for, to see Aqua take her first steps beyond the confines of the stable. With gentle hands, he led Aqua forward, her hooves tentative against the soft earth. For a few moments, Aqua hesitated, her body stiff with uncertainty. But then, slowly, she took a cautious step, then another, as if testing the world outside for the first time. The sight made James's heart swell, but his victory was short-lived. Just as Aqua began to settle, a loud crash from a nearby fence startled her. With a panicked screech, Aqua bolted, her movements wild and erratic. The sudden chaos sent a surge of fear through James, but he didn't hesitate. Without thinking, he sprinted after her, his voice steady as he called her name. "Aqua, it's okay. You're safe now." Aqua's frantic dash revealed just how deep her trauma ran. It wasn't just the physical scars that had held her back. Her fear was rooted in something far more profound. A history of hurt and betrayal that still haunted her every move. But James stayed calm, never losing his resolve. As he reached Aqua, he gently guided her to a stop, speaking softly, his words a reassurance she desperately needed. The setback stung, but James didn't give up. He knew the road to healing wouldn't be smooth, but this moment was crucial. Aqua had taken a small step forward, and despite the fear that still gripped her, James was determined to be the steady hand she needed to rebuild her trust, no matter how many setbacks they would face. James couldn't shake the feeling that Aqua's healing was incomplete. Despite their progress, something lingered, a hesitation in Aqua's eyes, a fear that resurfaced too often. He had been giving Aqua love and patience, but he knew there was more to uncover. That's when Mr. Grayson, the retired rancher who had been quietly observing their journey, encouraged James to dig deeper. "You'll never fully heal Aqua if you don't understand her past," Mr. Grayson advised, his words heavy with wisdom. Fueled by a desire to truly help Aqua, James set off to uncover the truth. His search led him to Victor Harland, Aqua's previous owner, whose name still carried a dark weight in the town. When James arrived at Harland's run-down property, the air seemed thick with unanswered questions. Harland was unwilling to speak at first, dismissing Aqua's pain with cold indifference. But as James pressed for answers, the truth started to unravel. Harland reluctantly confessed that Aqua had been part of a grueling endurance program, a life of pushing beyond limits, working until the capybara's body could take no more. When Aqua was no longer deemed useful, Harland had discarded her without a second thought, casting her aside like an object no longer needed. James's stomach churned with anger as the pieces fell into place. Aqua wasn't just neglected, she had been used, broken, and abandoned. But instead of giving in to rage, James made a silent vow to replace Aqua's memories of pain with those of love, patience, and trust. He promised to guide her through the final stages of her healing, and no matter how tough the journey would get, he would be there every step of the way. Aqua's transformation had only just begun. With every passing day, James could see more trust and strength returning to the capybara's eyes, But it was clear that this journey wasn't just about healing wounds on the outside. Aqua had suffered deep emotional scars, and James knew the road to recovery would require more than just patience. It would require a careful balance of love, support, and physical care. Word of Aqua's progress spread throughout the town, and soon Claire, the local veterinarian, reached out to offer her expertise. She had heard about Aqua's past and was moved by the bond between the two. Claire's offer was a blessing. With her guidance, James began incorporating gentle exercises into their daily routine. Claire taught him the right techniques to address Aqua's physical trauma, helping the capybara regain strength in her muscles that had been weakened by years of neglect. But it wasn't just the physical healing that mattered. Each session also helped rebuild Aqua's emotional resilience. Slowly, Aqua began to trust the gentle movements, no longer flinching at every touch. James felt the powerful shift as Aqua started standing taller, her movements more fluid, her posture more confident. These small victories became huge milestones for both of them. With Claire's support, they forged a new path forward, one where Aqua would regain her strength, both physically and emotionally. As the days turned into weeks, James realized this was no longer just about helping Aqua survive. It was about helping her thrive, reclaiming the strength and joy she had lost so many years ago. Together, they were writing a story of second chances and healing, one step at a time. The moment James led Aqua onto the racetrack, his heart raced with a mix of excitement and apprehension. This was the first real test, a challenge that would push Aqua to confront the very thing that had broken her in the past. James knew this wasn't just about taking Aqua to a track. It was about offering her a chance to reclaim what was stolen from her: confidence, strength, and the power to face her fears head-on. But this time, everything would be different. The racetrack was recreated in a controlled, low-pressure environment, designed to be as safe and supportive as possible for Aqua's healing journey. At first, Aqua hesitated, her hooves planted firmly in place as she took in the unfamiliar surroundings. The sounds, the wide open space, the sharp echoes of the track, it all stirred up memories of the past. Aqua froze, as if bracing for the same cruel treatment she had endured before. But James stayed by her side, speaking softly, giving her time to adjust. Slowly, Aqua took a cautious step forward, then another, and another. With each stride, she became more at ease, her muscles relaxing, her fears dissipating. By the end of their session, Aqua was walking confidently around the track, her head held high, a sense of purpose in her movement that James had not seen before. As they finished, James couldn't help but feel an overwhelming sense of pride. Aqua had come so far, and he knew this was only the beginning. There were still more challenges ahead, but this victory, this moment of progress, felt monumental. It was proof that Aqua could overcome her past, and James was determined to be there every step of the way. The moment James stepped onto the real racetrack with Aqua, the weight of the moment hit him hard. This was the ultimate test, not just for Aqua, but for everything they had worked for. The track was filled with the chaotic sounds of engines revving, people shouting, and the bustle of a racing environment. It was everything Aqua had feared in the past, and yet James felt a glimmer of hope. He had witnessed Aqua's progress, and with each cautious step she took, James knew she was ready for this challenge. He wasn't sure how it would go, but he trusted Aqua, and he trusted the bond they had built together. The crowd's distant chatter and the racing sounds filled the air as James gently guided Aqua onto the track. Aqua flinched at first, her muscles tense as memories of her painful past resurfaced. But James was calm. His steady voice and quiet reassurance kept Aqua grounded. Slowly, Aqua took a few steps forward, her body starting to relax with each stride. The noise that once terrified her didn't seem so daunting anymore. By the time they reached the halfway point, Aqua's steps were more confident. She wasn't running from her past. She was embracing the present, moving forward with strength. By the end of their session, Aqua moved across the track with a grace and confidence that left James in awe. She was no longer the broken, timid capybara he had met at the auction. Aqua had transformed, showing signs of healing not just physically, but emotionally. James stood there, heart swelling with pride, knowing that this moment marked a turning point. Aqua wasn't just surviving, she was thriving. And with James by her side, the future was full of possibilities. Aqua's remarkable transformation at the racetrack didn't just mark the culmination of months of hard work, it became a symbol of resilience and hope for everyone who witnessed it. The quiet capybara that once hid from the world had become a living testament to the power of patience, love, and second chances. Word of Aqua's recovery spread quickly throughout the community, and soon people were talking about the incredible bond between her and James. What had seemed like an impossible journey for both of them was now an inspiring story of strength and determination. For James, this was more than just a victory for Aqua. It was a moment of reflection, of understanding just how far they had both come. From the first day he brought Aqua home, she was broken, scarred by a past filled with pain and neglect. But through every challenge, every setback, James never gave up. Together they faced Aqua's fears, each step forward building their trust and confidence in one another. James realized that their bond was unshakable, forged not in easy victories, but in the tough moments, the quiet patience, and the unwavering belief that Aqua deserved more than what life had dealt her. As Aqua stood proudly in the pasture, James couldn't help but feel overwhelmed by the journey they had shared. What had started as a mission to heal a hurt animal had turned into a life-changing experience for them both. Aqua wasn't just surviving anymore. She was thriving, and so was James. Their story was far from over, but with each new day, they were writing a new chapter, one built on trust, love, and the unwavering power of hope. Aqua's journey from a broken, neglected capybara to a confident and resilient animal was nothing short of miraculous. It wasn't just the transformation in her physical strength that was remarkable. It was the way Aqua had reclaimed her spirit, piece by piece, with James's unwavering dedication. From the very first moment James laid eyes on Aqua, he saw beyond the scars, beyond the fears. He saw a soul that needed time, trust, and compassion to heal. And so, with every quiet moment spent together, every gentle touch, and every word of reassurance, James slowly helped Aqua rediscover her strength. Now, as James looks at Aqua, he knows she is no longer broken. She's not the same capybara who cowered in fear and confusion. Instead, she is a living testament to the healing power of trust and second chances. What seemed impossible at the beginning of their journey, the bond between a man and a capybara, overcoming the shadows of their pasts, has become a powerful reminder that, no matter how damaged someone might seem, they can always heal with love and patience. James's dedication to Aqua's recovery shows that compassion is the key to transformation. It's the willingness to believe in someone when others have given up, to invest time and care when the world may be telling you it's not worth it. In Aqua, James found not only a partner in healing, but also a reminder that even the most broken souls can be restored. The power of trust and second chances is boundless, and together, James and Aqua have proven that every scar can fade, every fear can be conquered, and every spirit can rise again. Reading Aqua's journey from neglect to strength was incredibly moving. It's a story that touches on the essence of what it means to care, to give second chances, and to believe in someone even when it seems like they're beyond saving. What struck me the most was how Aqua, though deeply scarred by past trauma, could still find the ability to trust again, but only because James was there, consistently showing patience and care without rushing the process. It's a reminder of how important it is to be present, not just physically, but emotionally, to offer a steady hand when the world has been harsh and unkind. The way James worked with Aqua, never forcing her but gently guiding her forward, really resonated with me. It felt like more than just a healing journey for the capybara. It was a healing journey for both of them. James didn't just heal Aqua's body, he gave her a reason to hope again, a reason to believe that not all humans are cruel. I think that's why the bond between them felt so powerful. It was built on mutual trust and respect. This kind of patience and empathy is something we often overlook, but it's what can truly transform lives. Aqua's story is one that gives hope, not only for animals, but for people too. It makes me think about how often we give up on things or people when they're struggling or broken. But Aqua's recovery shows that, with the right kind of care, there's always potential for healing. It's a beautiful reminder of the power of second chances and the incredible impact of trust. I feel inspired and deeply moved by how James's dedication has changed Aqua's life for the better.